Good morning, natural gas. It's Monday, July the 27th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company, and this is the top news for natural gas. Number one, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Even though Iran and the United States are not trading fire, traffic is very, very light. Number two, the EIA has said that US and Canada have offset about 70% of the Strait of Hormuz traffic for LNG. Number three, the US LNG exports are up 18% year on year for this first half of 2026. And number four, in the United States, extreme heat is about to drop into the interior west. Let's turn to the spot August natural gas contract, which goes off the board on Wednesday. Tomorrow is option expiration. And currently, right now, we're going for that 275 strike. We got it overnight. Currently, right now, the August contract is trading at 277.90, down 9.2 cents or over 3%. And as you can see, the RSI has turned to the downside with this move overnight. Let's turn to the hourly chart. And here is the hourly chart with the daily pivots. Today's third support was at 273.5. We got within one tick there. We got down to 273.40 here overnight. And then now we're bouncing back up to second support, which is now resistance at 279.70. So the RSI is trying to turn to the upside here. Again, looks like we're going to remain well below 283.4. That's our first support, the daily pivot, which came in at 289.60, well above the market right now. What's going on? Let's take a look at what's open interest here. And there's the open interest as of Friday for the August contract here on the CME, the NYMEX, and it's only 23,003 contracts. So let's turn to the options. And the biggest strike for the August puts is, you guessed it, 275, almost 36,000. So we've gotten that strike taken care of for the moment. It's chopping around right now. We'll wipe that out today. Again, option expiration is tomorrow. So let's take a look at the weather. Well, excuse me, front to back spreads first. And here is the Jan versus the October spread, down just 3 ticks here to 138.80. So the RSI right now is trying to turn back down. So we'll see whether or not this heat that's coming in is going to support the front of the board. But right now, it's not helping the expiring August contract. Let's turn to the grid here. And this is ERCOT. We've got about 46,000 and change for combined wind and solar here, about 45, excuse me. They've lowered it a little bit. And our peak today, over 87,000 megawatts in ERCOT. And yet, prices for the system are only going to be about $62 on the estimate so far. Right now, natural gas, though, 30% of the fuel mix, but look, it's under 20,000 megawatts. Why? Solar and wind are combined for over 65% of the fuel mix right now. And that's been the story here in Texas. Solar has been taking the crown on the fuel mix. And let's turn to the national grid here. And our pain points are SPP, which is expected to be about $200 here on the peak. PJM about 145, and MISO is going to be 243.5. So that's going to be our pain points here today with the heat in SPP and MISO and PJM. The stress is not yet in Texas. So let's take a look at the temperature outlook here. And this is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, gets us through August the 9th. And as you can see, we've got just a little bit of near normal in the Pacific Northwest and up there in Montana and parts of North Dakota. But everywhere else is above normal. And yet the August contract can't gain any steam to the upside. Why not? Because the 3 to 4 week temperature outlook, which gets us through the 21st of August, is equal chances. That seasonal temperatures here from Texas straight up into the upper Midwest. But look what's going on. Populated areas of California above normal here, and now above normal temperatures are starting to look up the East Coast. That's where the population is. So you would think we would get a boost here, but not so fast. And let's take a look at the extreme heat risk here. We've got 4.5 million people under extreme heat risk here. Parts of Florida all the way back up into Kansas and New Mexico. And then as we get into the week here, it gets worse and worse across the south here. This is 6.5 million, 6.2 on Thursday. Friday here at 14.9. There's Saturday, 17.5 million. But notice something here. The southeast, the northeast, the upper Midwest towards Chicago is relatively cool. So this extreme heat is focused on the interior west. And there's not many people there. So let's take a look here. Sunday goes out. We still got Vegas all the way over to Los Angeles down to Phoenix is extreme heat risk. Obviously, Salt Lake City to the upside in Utah. But Texas, for the most part, okay. And then further all the way over on the East Coast is relatively normal. And let's run the model here. This is the extreme heat risk here for the European model here. And as you can see, as we go through the forecast period here, we get warm temperatures in Texas. We get an interior west here. We get brief shots up the East Coast here as we go all the way out on the forecast here. There's upper 90s there. But as you can see, it's just not a huge amount of warmer temperatures here. This is the August 11th period. And as you can see, mainly focused in Texas right now. So that's not yet supportive enough for natural gas on the contract here. Let's turn to Europe here, and this is Europe. It is going to be very, very warm going into the end of this month, into the first week of August, but they do get some relief at the end of the forecast period here on these model runs. There's the extreme heat going into France and Germany. That goes into Austria, in Slovakia and other countries here, but you can see there's the heat again coming up on the 3rd, the 4th of August, 5th of August. This is going to be very, very tough for Europe to add to storage with so much of their demand right now coming in the form of extreme heat. And as you can see, as we get a little bit toward the end of the forecast period here, we do get some moderation in temperatures there very briefly. So let's take a look at storage. Overall, we're over 55% full in the EU, but we've got our still problems. Belgium at 32%, obviously the Netherlands at 35%, United Kingdom 25%. So United Kingdom mainly relies on Norway and the continental Europe, but right now it is still very, very low on storage. Hopefully that will improve. Let's take a look at the TTF contract right now, and it is currently just flat here at $18 and just about 11 cents here per MMBTU. Yes, we can't even get to $3 in the US, but over in TTF and JKM, there's strong prices here for August. Let's turn to Asia here, and as you can see, as we get through the forecast period, warmer temperatures are mainly between Shanghai and Beijing. These warm temperatures come in from the west here, out all the way in the desert region of China here, push along the Mongolian border, and then push into Beijing. So Beijing is going to be looking for some more LNG as we go into the forecast period. And let's take a look at the LNG. So LNG at Qatar, nothing is loading at Ras Laffan. There is that one tanker there, the Al Salah, is just at Anchorage, it looks like here. Doesn't look like it's at port. And as you can see, there's only a few vessels here sitting in the Strait of Hormuz. Again, we've got our traffic jams off Qatar, off Dubai, off Oman. And let's take a look at the US. Cameron doing fantastic as usual. 1.467 out of 1.56. Again, when it's hot and humid, these large box facilities, LNG facilities, cannot run at 100% because the compressors and turbines are just too strained. Let's turn to Freeport. And it's also steady here at 1.2. That's good news there. But how about Sabine Pass? This is Creole Trail. Still has open capacity. It's one of the pipelines that feeds Sabine Pass. There are other pipelines here. But as you can see, there is still open capacity on Creole Trail. A little bit better story over at Corpus Christi here, running just about 250,000 of open capacity here at Corpus Christi, doing well there. How about LNG for Venture Global here? This is Calcasieu Pass, and we've still got half a BCF open capacity there. There has been really just one boat transiting into Calcasieu Pass here for the last couple of weeks, and they've got 2 docks, so something must be going on. Let's turn to Plaquemines, and it's got a little bit of open capacity, but running nearly at nameplate. And here's Golden Pass, which we saw a vessel loading this weekend. That's right. A Malta vessel here was loading here at Golden Pass and has just left this morning. We're currently running just around the same 330,000 MMBTU. So we'd like to see this ramp up as the cooler temperatures come in. And let's take a look at the U.S. nuclear fleet, which has been doing very well. And again, today, running just 1 gigawatt of outages across the country. Fantastic for summer. And here's our tropics. There's the look. You can see there's some storm activity, mid-Atlantic, northeast of Puerto Rico, and off the East Coast. But no tropical development is expected for the next 7 days. Why? Well, we've got our bowling ball here, just knocking out any system that tries to form in the mid-Atlantic. The Saharan air layer is coming in yet again, another big wave. Thank you for Bertha, though. She did kick that dust off of Texas. And let's take a look at the wildfires from Canada. And again, this is that particulate matter and smoke coming into the upper Midwest, mainly here. It is starting to dissipate a little bit. That's good news for the US, but as you can see, there is still some possibility of more coming in tomorrow. This is all the way through tomorrow. And let's take a look at the drought monitor as it was released last week. As you can see, we've made some major improvements here from Texas all the way over toward Alabama, but we still have drought in Florida and the Carolinas all the way back up into New Jersey here. The interior West is getting very, very dry. Here's the stocks in the oil and gas E&P sector, stocks between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float over 10%. Today, sea of red. Crude oil's down because Iran and the US have stopped poking at each other, and natural gas is down with obviously the weather and expiration coming up. So again, recapping here for the spot August natural gas contract, we're currently trading at $2.78 even, down 9.1 cents or 3.17%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.